Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I just finished priming a canvas and decided to put the canvas we were working on last week up, and hopefully we will make progress on that, maybe actually finish it today. So my son cracked me up because he goes to me, why do you bother streaming when you know you don't have any viewers? So thank you, my boy, very nice of you to remind me of that. But anyways, I answered the same thing that I would answer anybody. Why do I paint when I don't sell a painting every day? Well, there's only one reason. Because it makes me happy, it makes me feel good. That's what I love to do. It's true that 10 years ago, all I had to worry about was coming into the studio, doing my painting, worrying about doing something better than I did the day before, and that was it. And then, of course, like most of you know, after doing the same thing for 100 years, it gets rather boring. So about 10 years ago, I decided I would make my movies, make a little making of movie of every painting I did. Now that, of course, took a while for me to learn. I mean, my first movies last like 14, 12, 14 minutes. Now they last about 4 to 5 minutes. So I've learned to cut the fat, reduce things except when it's a larger painting or if I have some sort of a scenario in it as well. So anyways, I enjoy painting and I figured, hey, making the movie, painting, too simple. So I added a third element, and that is streaming. So, of course, I'm only in my third week. Going to be a lot of mistakes, no big deal. I had a lot of technical difficulties the first few weeks because I didn't have the equipment that I wanted. I couldn't hook up my HD cameras to have a better view. Finally, I got that done, and so that's kind of nice as well. And then I was able to get a microphone to allow me to move more freely in the studio. So that was a major step forward. And then the other thing is that I love learning. I love learning new programs. I love learning about where I am in the world, in the cosmos. I love learning about astrophysics. I love learning how things work, like chemicals. So I like chemistry. I like physics as well. Understand what are the laws that govern the universe. I find that all fascinating. So anyways, on this last painting, so on this last painting, we started 2 weeks ago with the background. And then we did the splattering using two colors of turquoise and then highlighting it with the black splattering. Then we added the flowers. That was in the first week. And then the second week we did the outer shell, and then we did the body as well, the clothes and the details to the clothes. So I think today what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish these eyes, and I'm going to work my way down. I want to do add a little gold to the green loincloth. And then I have also an idea for the pants as well and shadow the feet. So that's basically what we are going to do today. So I am going to get the paint ready and tackle, I think, the eyes first. I mean, since I am right-handed, I always tend to work from the upper left-hand side down so my hands don't go into the wet paint. So I'm going to get my paints ready, and then we're going to tackle this. So that should be fun. So let me see. Okay, so this should just take a few seconds and get that over and done with. Let's find the right size paintbrush. Okay, I think this one will do nicely. Mm-hmm. 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 The only drawback I have about doing this live stream is that basically I can't play the music I enjoy. I love painting while I'm listening to music, and because of copyright reasons, I'm screwed. I can't do that. So, and I'm sure as hell not going to sing to you. But I do have some music of my friend Pete, who is a DJ and a great DJ, I must say, does a lot of movie clips and whatnot. So I do have some of his music that I might be playing eventually. And then I do have like the non-commercial or whatever music that I play when I have a long sequence to do, so people don't get too bored. So, anyways, so now that I have this wonderful HD camera, I can zoom in, bring it in closer, and we're going to tackle the eyes on this guy. There we go. This painting is so small that everything I do just gets done so quickly. I'm used to painting on much larger scale paintings, but what the hell? Someone gave me this canvas all stretched, gave me both of these canvases stretched, and well, you just can't turn down a freebie, can you? So I usually just have unstretched canvas that I staple to my wall, because when the painting is done, all I have to do is just roll it up, roll it, and when it's rolled, all I gotta do, it's so much easier to store that when these paintings are stretched, you put them all packed next to each other, and when you move things around, they get scratched, they get damaged, and they take up so much more room. So it's been a long time now that I've been painting on unstretched canvas. So let's get back to this guy, get this done very quickly. I might have to put 2 coats on. I usually do. We'll see how it goes. There we go. That was quick and easy. So I had in mind at one point, I wanted to do like my little sperms on the pants of this samsara dancer. Samsara dancer is a dancer from Cambodia, and I saw this little sculpture, and I just found the gesture so beautiful that I figured I'd try to do my version of a painting of that sculpture. So I had the idea of doing these little sperms on the pants, but today, now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of debating it. I was thinking maybe doing more like some little swirls or something like that. Nothing quite structured as the sperms. But I'm not sure. I'm going to wing it. Right now, what I'd like to do, though, what I do see as I came in today, is I'd like to put like some little gold dots on the green loincloth. So I think I'm going to do that right now. Give time of, like that, it'll have a little time to dry and give me a few minutes to kind of figure out what to do about these pants. I mean, it's kind of a dilemma. Do I just leave it the way it is, or I'm not sure. So I find the pants to be a little too bright. So I figured I would darken it a little bit by doing these little swirls of maybe ochre or light brownish color. Anyways, what I'm going to do right now, though, is get to the dots, and we'll figure out really how that goes along. So I'm going to do that first. So we'll get back. I'll lower the camera a little bit so we can see the loincloth. There we go. Get the paint going. I noticed there was like a little dark screen there for a few seconds, and that's because I'm switching from one camera to the other. And what I should do, I guess, to get rid of that is like ping pong, go and have well, anyways, I'll figure that out as we go along. Again, finding the right paintbrush for what I want to do. And this is a little too big, so I'm going to get a smaller one. I think this might just do the trick right here. So after having a rainy weekend, it's a beautiful day out today. Sure feels great. I'll make sure I don't see through that gold. Make it nice and thick so it catches the light just the way it should. I'll just go finish these guys up here. There we go. Well, very nice, very nice. Now I have to resolve this problem of the pants. Okay. Not too sure really what I'm going to do with that. I think what I might do though is bring this fan over, bring this baby back here and bring a little fan to dry the painting a little quicker. There we go. Put that fan on. when I was learning the program, how to use the program to do the streaming, I learned it from watching all these young kids who stream games, and it was very helpful, but they were all very obsessed by the sound, making sure that they put like a noise gate, which would like cut off all the sound as soon as they stopped talking. The noise gate would cut their sound. I don't want to do that. I like the sound of the ambiance of my studio. Now I know, of course, that it might be a little noisy, but that's how it is. I'm in the old part of Nice that was built in the Middle Ages, and it's a very noisy area. The building next to my studio is like only 15 feet away. I mean, the neighbor's living room is closer to my studio than my son's bedroom is to my living room at home. So it's pretty close. And the old part of Nice is just like these very old, narrow streets where sound resonates. If there's a construction going on just not very far away, the sound bounces off the buildings, and it sounds like the construction is going on downstairs or in your own building. So that's kind of the way it is. Here's an example just to show you a little bit. We are about 2 minutes from the beach, which is rather nice, but this is like a picture of the old town of Nice, these old buildings built, like I said, in the 1600s or whatever. And my street is like this picture right here, as you can see, very narrow. And it's very nice in the summertime when it's 100 degrees out because the sun doesn't penetrate. But for Wi-Fi and for noise, it's not the best. Especially that in the summertime, this area is just packed with tourists. It's a big tourist attraction. A lot of pubs, a lot of big nightlife, a lot of restaurants, of course. Though I think this year, because of all the confinement going around the world, I don't think there'll be that many tourists, but which is great for the local people, but bad for business. I don't know what the percentage of the income of tourism is in the old part of Nice, but I think it's pretty high up. So they're hurting, like most businesses in the States are hurting as well because of this whole situation. So that's just kind of a drag, but hopefully it won't drag on forever, even though you're talking about the second wave and whatever. I know I was confined for like 60 days with my son, and that was pretty intense because I suddenly had to like become a chemistry teacher, a math teacher, a history teacher, French, Spanish. Whew, I went crazy. I studied since college. I thought those days were over. But anyways, I had to get back into the program in the mornings. I had to kind of get everything ready for the schooling of the afternoon, and then it was like 5-6 hours of school almost every day. So I'm happy kind of that period ended for us, at least here in France. So back to this baby. What am I going to do here? Well, I'm going to go with these little squibbles. I had that in my mind when I showed up and I looked at this painting. Forget about the little sperms, but the squiggles, I'm going to have to be really careful because I want it to be I don't want it to overpower the yellow of the pants. So I want it to be there, but just very discreetly. And it's not that easy because when acrylic paints dry, the colors are always darker. So you have to learn to put it on as lightly as possible, keeping that in mind. So I'm going to get the paints ready, and I'll be right back. So it's great. I can use the yellow that I used on the eyes, since I already have it on my palette. So make things very easy. And now I just gotta make sure I get the right thing, the right quantity as I want it. Here you have it, like a golden yellow with a little bit of light brown ochre in French. I don't know what it's called in English. Let me see there. So let's hope. I'm gonna really thin this out so it's almost like an ink. Try it somewhere where hopefully. Okay, I can tell right now that I don't have the right paintbrush, so I'm not even going to try and screw this up. I'm going to get a very thin one if I have one here. That's not thin enough. Where's the thin ones? Okay. This is my fall back paintbrush. So I just tried it on a very dark area. I'm just hoping so I did put a little bit right here, and I'm going to wait a few seconds since I have the fan on. I know it's going to dry very quickly. Because like I said, as it dries, it gets dark, and I want to make sure I don't screw up. I don't want it to be too dark, and I don't want it to be too light. So not going to be obvious. What does that do? That could do it. I'm not sure. I'm going to try it over here. Okay. I have a feeling it's not dark enough, but somehow I'm going to still go with it. I'm going to go with it, and where it doesn't show, I'll just go back on the second coat with a little bit darker. Because I have a feeling where the yellow is lighter, it will work so much better. Yeah, I think just a hair darker after all. Just a whisker darker. I think I have no choice but to. I don't know. It's going to be a hit or a miss. I'm going to go for it. So this is the area that I've already done, and you can barely see it, and that's kind of what I wanted, because I know it's going to get darker as it dries. I'm just going to have to be patient and keep doing this, but it is actually doing what I want it to do. So and I also see that I'm putting my friggin' hands in the paint where I didn't want to. So now I have to do a cleanup job. Damn it. No big deal, but anyways, deal with that later. So let me step back and see what's doing. Yes, well, as you can see, it just adds like just a little bit of texture to the background yellow, and that's exactly what I wanted. And something very discreet, you know, just like. But there nonetheless. And it'll be interesting to see what it all does once it dries. I think it'll be just fine. So, it's going to take a few minutes. But that's what painting is all about. Pleasure is in the meditation that goes with the painting. I might have to do another pass, a little darker in the shady areas. I'll have to wait and see when it dries, see how darker it gets this paint. I know in the light areas it's going to be just fine. Exactly what I wanted. I'm not sure on the darker areas. There we go. If you don't mind, I'm going to turn the fan back on so it dries quicker. I'm one of these impatient artists. That's one of the reasons why I like painting on big canvases, because when you start in one corner, by the time you get to the bottom corner on the right of the opposite end, the first corner is dry, so you can just go back and constantly work on the painting without ever having to stop and wait for the paint to dry. And on the smaller guys, especially in the winter time, that's a major drag because it's kind of cold to put the fan on. So you just gotta bite the bullet and wait. Darker paint right here at the bottom, just to see what kind of effect that would be. I'm not sure if it's going to be too dark or not. Maybe I'll do that. Definitely a little darker, but I'm going to put the darker on the areas where So, basically, what we have now okay, very good. For the time being, I guess I'm going to just have to let that dry, and when it's all dry, then I think I'm going to just put some shade on the feet, and then take it from there. I'm not exactly sure. The whole body is all going to be outlined in black, and maybe I can tackle that today, depending if it's all dry. But I don't know if you can see from afar the legs, what I wanted to do. Let me get back to the other camera here. But this is exactly kind of what I was hoping, was to get like this discrete little shade of brown on top of the legs. I guess you can see it pretty well like that, I guess. So I'm kind of happy with that. And while things are drying, I am going to just mix up a little bit of that green paint to fix up my screw ups. See, I'm always putting my hand in the wet paint, but I'm trying to do things rather quickly because I don't want my 0 viewers, as my son would say, to be bored. So that's not a problem. It's true that I'm extremely impatient kind of a painter. I started, of course, for many years painting in the 90s on posters, painting on paper that I would actually glue in the streets. And that was kind of the trademark of the painters I was working with at the time when I was in Paris, the group called Zen Copyright. And our thing was to work for a couple weeks on hand-painted posters, and then take these posters and glue them in a certain area of the city. And I did this with them and by myself in Nice, in Amsterdam, in Berlin, in New York City, in Paris, several cities in France. Anyways, a lot of fun, and it just kind of also takes the grayness out of the city streets. So, and this is an example, for example, of the posters that I did at the time. So these posters had one goal only, and the goal was quantity, not really quality. We'd have to crank these suckers out as much as we could, and there you go. So, of course, most of them are my symbol, and then some posters have the address of the gallery where we were working out of. And as we went along over the years, as you can see with these last posters, they got a little more sophisticated. Quantity wasn't the priority anymore, quality was. So basically what we were into, and then what we would basically do is glue them in the streets, as you can see, like right here. And here's the Zen copyright gluing. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, yes, of course, they did bring the attention of the police. I have tons of stories I could tell you about those gluing those things on the wrong areas on, well, anyways, I'm not going to get into it right now, but I will at one point, little by little, talk about all these eventful stories. So anyways, I'm going to go back to painting my, getting the green paint ready, and I'm going to fix up my screw up. So let me do that for a while. I'll zoom out a little bit on this painting, and I will get my paint ready, which is just about done, actually. Pretty quick. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's get this baby out here. There we go. So let's mix this up, find the right color. I mean, since it's just a little bit of fix-up job, it should be kind of easy to do. Get that right. Maybe just a little bit darker. Still got to remember that it darkens as it dries, so you got to be careful. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Have it all blend in, and nobody will even know I screwed up. There we go. And even permit me to fix one or two things that was bugging me. So, in fact, my screw up kind of helped me out. Let me just get this here too. There we go. Up, 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 up. There, perfect. And being in that never-ending quest for perfection, I will go back and just add a tad of gold on where I screwed up. There we go. Up. I'm going to go back at just a little more gold again. When I put it down, the green kind of went through it. There we go. Sometimes, there you go. Got to put that double coat in so when the light hits it, you get the reflection you want. Very good. Boom. Now, very quickly, I'm going to get the blue paint ready to do the highlight of the feet. When I get that done, that should just take a few minutes. Opa. This also, I want to start off really very lightly. I mean, I'd rather go in and do several coats to get it darker than Again, I'm not looking really for a realistic shade here. I just want my movement that I enjoy so much doing. And that's kind of the main thing I want. I'm going to lighten this up though, just a whisker, because I can tell it's going to be too dark. Too dark to see. Looks like door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Ah, beautiful, yes. Oh, I love it when it comes together like that. Just one fluid movement. Now I can get that down the first try. That's when I'm at my happiest. And that's the way it's going to be right there. So, I do have my ochre, my light brown paint, so I might as well finish the highlights of the eyes, which I love to do. So I'm going to zoom in and check that out. Easy now. There we go. Maybe up just a whisker. Woohoo! There we go. Work this out a little bit. Again, this is the kind of gesture I want to get right first time around. I've done 100,000 of these and still sometimes they screw up. Doesn't quite go the way you want it to. So hopefully everything's going to give the way it should. There we go. Got that done. Of course, all that's going to be outlined again with black. I think that'll look pretty good. So, what next? little bit of shading of that hand, and then we can do the black outline. I don't think I'm going to do the black light outline today. Probably do that tomorrow, and then start on the background of my next painting. Do that tomorrow as well. And here I'm going to do the shading. If I can find the right paintbrush. This one's a little too big. Let me see, what do we have here? Okay, I guess this one will do. Oh, I do have this one. Okay. I'm going to go with this paintbrush here, yes? And again, I don't want it to be too dark, so let's start this. Get the right amount of paint, right? Okay, I think I can do this a little darker, and the white is kind of screwing with me as well. Not blending in the way I want it to. There we go. That should do it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for the time being. Okay. All right. Well, I think this is gonna do it for today. Quick little hour streaming. A lot of fun for me, at least. This is what I'd be doing even if I wasn't streaming. So probably I wouldn't be talking as much and listening to the music I enjoy. You know, a little jazz or Grateful Dead. You know, some good jamming music where you can meditate and just let your mind drift as you're painting. That's the best part. So yes, tomorrow I think we can finish the black background around this guy, and then there's obviously going to be a border around the two shells. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do about this area right here. I mean, usually when I do this kind of background with like electromagnetic waves, or circles, whatever you want to call it, and then little planets or bubbles, whatever. I usually splatter paint. But for some reason, when I got to this stage of the painting, I just kind of basically enjoyed it. I mean, I figured I would just leave it like the way it is because I just thought that maybe I don't know, maybe it would look okay. So I don't know. So we'll do the outline tomorrow of the person, of the samsara dancer. Then we will do the outer shell there, the black, and then for the outer background, I'm not really sure. Am I going to splatter paint there, or am I just going to leave it because I liked it the other day and I still do? So maybe I'll leave it like that. If I feel there's something missing, I might do a little border around the outer edge, maybe a little border. I do a lot of borders on my painting, so maybe I'll do that. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do. So we have all day today, tomorrow to figure it out. And I'll be back tomorrow around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you all join me again tomorrow for another session of painting. Hopefully we'll finish this guy off tomorrow and start on a new painting, which I'm not exactly sure what I have. I have I have orange in my mind. I usually go with colors, so I just love colors. So I'm thinking of like an orange background, and then from there on, I'm not really sure what I'll do. And that's kind of how I paint. I just kind of wing it on the day that I come into the studio. I have an idea of what I want to see as colors, and then as I'm doing it, I have other ideas that pop in mind. Anyways, we have the entire evening, like I said, to figure that out. So I want to thank you very much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. I'm going to leave you with my schedule, and like that, you'll know exactly when I'll be back. Take care, my friends. Ciao.